and people getting scammed all the time. We have whole industries that are just based off scamming, right? I mean, Bernie said it about Wall Street. Fraud is the business model on Wall Street.
More than double what it initially invested. So what happens when your landlord becomes a private equity firm? Higher rent, faster evictions, punitive fees, shoddier repairs and services, if anyone even shows up at all. Even if your building isn't owned by a private equity firm, their impact on the market is probably driving your rent up. When corporate landlords gobble up already scarce homes, they shut out millions of people from being able to buy their own homes, preventing them from building financial stability and generational wealth. In essence, it's a direct transfer of wealth from the middle and working class into the pockets of private equity managers.
That's the thing. I remember when mainstream media lost it when Bernie was running in 2016 the first time, and they were saying, oh my God, he's declaring class war. And the reality is, no, he's not. He's just playing defense against those who actually started a class war, namely the 1%, the wealthy, the robber barons, and the mega corporations. They started the class war. He was just willing to defend the 99%. And they said he was being divisive. No, you're being divisive. The whole system is divisive because it doesn't give people a fair shot.
Next, healthcare. Over the past 2 decades, private equity in healthcare has exploded from $5 billion to over $100 billion a year, from buying hospitals to staffing emergency rooms to taking over nursing homes.
I'm going to lose it. Like, there are certain things that cannot be left to capitalism, cannot be left to the private marketplace. Because the profit motive is such a malincentive that it ruins everything. We need single-payer, universal health care, Medicare for all. But it should be public money funding public doctors. I don't want private business involved in this in any way, shape, or form, bro. I don't want there to be private hospitals. No. Everything should be public on that front. Nationalize it all. Nationalize all of Big Pharma, too. That doesn't mean that there aren't other areas where that makes sense within the context of a modern industrial economy. Of course, you could have consumer goods, TVs, couches, whatever. That could be part of the private market. No big deal. The government doesn't need to be making beds, right? Everybody gets that. But when you talk about something like the police or the military or healthcare and hospitals and doctors, like, we can't play around with this anymore, bro. We've already tried the hyper privatization, and the result has been catastrophic. Medical bills, the number one cause of bankruptcy. We pay double what other people pay for their health care, and we cover fewer people and get worse health outcomes. We have the answers. They're in. And now you have a massive corrupt industry, which whole purpose is to propagandize you into thinking we actually have the number one system in the world and everything's great. Well, guess what? Everybody knows that's not true, because look at the reaction to Luigi Mangione killing a health insurance CEO. I mean, the reaction was not what anybody would have thought, but everybody has stories and experiences with how the system has fucked them or a loved one over or a friend over. And so that was the reaction. It's time, man. It's time.
Team Health, a staffing agency owned by Blackstone, charges about 6 times what Medicare charges in emergency rooms. Team Health and Envision, another private equity-owned physician staffing firm, are notorious for their surprise medical bills. Don't you just love surprise bills? Team Health and Envision doctors aren't covered by insurance. So when a patient goes to an in-network hospital but is seen by a private equity doctor, the patient gets stuck with a surprise out-of-network bill.
It's a scam. It's all a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Beyond eye-popping costs, patients can also expect lower quality care. A sweeping study examined private equity-owned nursing homes and found dire effects. Staff hours were slashed, jobs disappeared, and the use of antipsychotic medications, which have a host of dangerous side effects, skyrocketed. All this contributed to a 10% increase in patient mortality. That's more than 1,000 lives lost every year on average. Now, if private equity is doing so much damage, how come it isn't the front page story on every paper in the country? Well, for starters, hedge funds and private equity firms own half the nation's daily papers.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We allowed this to happen. Again, thank Ronald Reagan in the neoliberal era to get us to this point. Every politician who turned their back on the New Deal consensus is a criminal as far as I'm concerned, because it opened up the door for our entire economy to functionally be a scam.
About a quarter of U.S. newspapers, over 2,000 publications, have shut down over the past decade and a half. The result? Reporters, staff, and readers lose, while private equity managers get even richer. A 2022 study found that after private equity buyouts, the number of reporters and editors declined by nearly 10%. The East Bay Times in Oakland, California, owned by Alden Global Capital, laid off 20 employees just 1 week after the paper won a Pulitzer Prize. Declines in local news coverage are associated with lower voter turnout, less competitive local elections, and more government corruption. Even as jobs and hours are cut, subscription prices are jacked up, sticking readers with a lower quality product for a much higher cost. So what can be done? First and foremost, close the industry's favorite tax loophole that enables private equity managers to keep their taxes low. The carried interest loophole treats their personal income as capital gains, taxed at a top rate of just 20%, instead of the personal income it actually is, with a top tax rate of 37%.
Remember when Trump said he was going to do that, and then he got in there and didn't? Remember that? I bet he'll do it this time. Fell for it again award, right? If you believe that.
It's yet another way private equity is looting America. The pattern is clear. When private equity gets involved, costs get higher and quality gets lower, while the rich get richer. It's past time for Congress to rein in this predatory industry.
Lock them up. They're all committing crimes, right? Like these are just criminals. They're thugs. They're gangsters. They're a part of a cartel. It's amazing we let it get to this point, bro. It's amazing we let it get to this point. This country's a hellscape right now. The New Deal era can't come fast enough because we're playing with fire. This rotten, decrepit empire falling apart at the seams. I mean, it's embarrassing that basically since the New Deal, we've had no big ideas as a country, transformative ideas as a country. A lot of our infrastructure is literally from that era. And this is the stuff that's going on. We've legalized scamming. That's what it is. These private equity snakes, man, they got to go. It reminds me of what FDR said when talking about the economic royalists and the money changers. He said, I welcome their hatred. They hate me, and I welcome their hatred. We got to get back to that. Because now these sorts of people in private equity, they're the ones who give the politicians money for their campaigns, and they end up being the boss of the politicians. They run the whole system. J.D. Vance, Mr. Fake Populist himself, he's a venture capitalist, right? Don't trust any of these motherfuckers. Not a single one of them.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.